Hello there, welcome to Talking Vault. Two men on a vault. Mike in sales, Matt in tech. Part one.
We're going to go straight in with the pain points and the questions that come up during the workflow, day-to-day running with engineers, basically. And these are the questions that they're kind of being asked. And this hasn't just come from me. This has come from a combination of me, the external guys, Matt, our tech directors put a fair few into these as well. We can't find the file. We've manufactured to the wrong file, manufactured to an older version. That's come up a fair few times. Has the change been implemented yet? Can we give appropriate access permissions to the data at the appropriate time? Who was it? You know, we need to make sure, obviously, if there are any issues, it's not a case of blame, name and shame. It's a training issue. We need to identify who it was, when it was, and make sure that it doesn't happen again. Who's changed the part? All these questions that keep getting raised. And this can be translated into effectively questions, proactive questions that come from driving the vault. Same bubbles really, but just translated into, instead of I can't find the file, where is the file? So if you're driving the vaulted environment or looking proactively in the design engineering environment, where is the file? How do I record the change as complete as I'm working? Have I got the correct file as I'm working? Will the change affect other design files? So preempting those sort of questions, all of these things, really, if you're using something like Vault's main competitor really at the moment, seen by most as being Windows Explorer, it's an electronic filing cabinet, but it's not designed to handle design data. So what happens to those design files and those design data files? In the Windows Explorer environment, how does it compare? With AutoCAD files, it used to be a relatively straightforward process. You've got one file, it's got a sheet, it's got a series of mini sheets attached to it on the bottom tabs. You look at 3D parts, assemblies, sub-assemblies, then into general arrangements. Every part could have a multitude of drawing files, PDF documents for regulation approvals.
One file is used in many different places.
Yeah.
One assembly uses many different files.
Yeah.
A whole spider's web of links. Your DWG, I think, is, to all intents and purposes, a flat file. It can represent a simple bracket. It can represent a model of the entire city centre of Accrington. It might be a big file, but it, as a rule of thumb, it tends to be pretty flat.
Yeah.
It's all or nothing. But with your Inventor file, a part file is a bracket, is a plate, an assembly file is a combination, and the difficulty always is, where's it used? I can always find out what it uses. The drawing will tell me that it uses the assembly. The assembly will let me know quite easily that it uses parts 1, 2 and 3. But 6 months down the line, looking at somebody else's design, I've got no idea that part 4, what drawing is it on, what assembly is it used on. If I make a change to this part, am I going to break everybody else's drawings and assemblies?
Yeah, and it's the everybody else's bit that's important as well. Because
Yeah.
if you are Joe Person, single engineer.
Joe Person.
Yeah.
Nice.
Joe Blogs, person. Yeah. Somebody that's basically got single user on his machine with the Inventor installed.
Yeah.
That's not too bad necessarily.
You can kind of keep track of your own stuff.
Keep track of your own files, parts, links and dependencies between the files, assemblies, sub-assemblies.
Might take you a bit of time, mind, but nobody's going to come in and pull the carpet from underneath.
It's not automated and you've no traceability. Where it really comes into its own, I suppose, is when you're looking at anything that's 2+ users.
Yeah.
People have their own leave breaks, on site at different times. Other people need to work on the files that this person's been working on, and what happens when people start opening up other people's drawings, saving them, overwriting copies of them, cut and pasting rather than copy and pasting. We've seen that done before.
Things move. Wasn't where I left it.
Yeah.
Mike's come along and broken it again.
Exactly. Yeah. And as you can see in the example there on the screen, it's not just DWGs anymore. It's DWGs, it's GIFs, BMPs, JPEGs, STLs, DXFs. I can shout TLAs and FLAs till I'm blue in the face. There's a multitude of different files that connect to these.
Anything that you can put into Windows, you can put into Vault.
Yeah.
Vault will have a good understanding of all your Autodesk CAD files, your Inventors, your DWGs, your AutoCAD stuff. It's got a pretty good understanding of your Microsoft Office, so Excel, Word. It actually has a Vault add-in. It has I don't want to say no understanding, but it doesn't have an in-depth understanding of a text file other than showing you the text. It doesn't have an understanding of what's going on inside a bitmap, but it will show you the picture.
Yeah.
Anything that you can put into Windows Explorer, be it a software package today or something that hasn't been invented for 10 years, if you can save it to a hard drive and Windows Explorer will show it you, Vault will work with that file.
Because people use Windows Explorer at the moment, and a lot of the purpose of this webinar is to target those individuals, but also the people that use Vault Basic to explain what's available in the upper echelon, the upper levels to it. The people who are using Windows Explorer use it because it's what they're used to.
It's free.
It's word processing.
It's built in.
Yeah. It's not designed to maintain the links and dependencies between all the bits and bats.
Exactly.
If you compare that to what Vault would look like as a metal filing cabinet, you'd have your sheets of paper in your folders, in your 4 drawers, or your 2 drawers, whichever one you've got, but there will be hundreds of, maybe thousands of pieces of string linking each of those pieces of paper to each other in various drawers, cabinets, files, sheets that show when you pull one sheet out, it brings the rest of it out correctly at the right release in the current version, so you know you're working on that one version of the truth, that everything that's checked out with that part or assembly that you're working on.
Yes.
There you go. So just in summary then, quickly, design engineering challenges, searching for recreating misplaced data, these are common issues. Searching, copying, chasing, moving, tracking, second guessing, and investigating. Copying similar designs into a new project, because that's something else that Vault can do, is it bridges that pain point gap of people being able to en masse move associated parts and assemblies into a new project because a similar project has come up with the same customer or somebody different, that they can reuse that data very easily whilst creating unique part files to be able to trace those new parts and sub-assemblies against a new project, as opposed to duplicating work files between different projects.
Might take me a month to produce the first project. Full set of documentation, drawings, assemblies, all the associated stuff. Customer comes along. I would like another one of those machines, please. Same but different. 6 inches wider.
Give me by 5 o'clock, please.
With Vault, we can take the existing project and basically do a copy design. All the length components for this machine will stay the same. They get reused. All the width components, because it's 6 inches wider, we'll create new drawings and new parts. But the software will create the part. It will relink the new files in the background. So out the other end, in 10 minutes, 30 seconds, whatever it takes, you've got a new project that's documented up to the same spec, if you like, as the one that you've just spent a month on. But you got there in 5 minutes. Then you can spend your time manipulating and tweaking the design for the width stuff and updating the assemblies. But you could get out the door within a couple of days the second project based off the first one that might have taken you a month.
That point.